fit of anger, Theo placed talismans and a sword on Jerry's head, setting them ablaze. He declared that he had no obligations to fulfill for the elders but acknowledged that he was able to defeat Jerry with the help of one elder. Theo decided to leave the pouches of abundance belonging to the alchemists of the Mount White sect untouched. Satisfied with acquiring Jerry's sword and the frost flower, Theo soared through the skies, heading back to the Mount White sect. He contemplated the losses suffered by the sect, including the breath of the Sun alchemists and their sect leader. With 4 elders and their lord of jurisdiction also defeated, Theo foresaw a bleak future for the sect. Aware that his escape from the cave would lead Mount White sect to track him down, he braced himself for the consequences of his actions and the inevitable pursuit that awaited him. Theo changed into new clothes, feeling satisfied with the transformation. Holding the pill in his hands, he acknowledged the sacrifices made in its pursuit, attributing the losses to excessive greed. Contemplating his next move, he pondered whether to simply swallow the pill without dwelling on the consequences. However, Manhwa, upon witnessing the scene, trembled with fear and hastily fled. Despite possessing knowledge of alchemy, talismans, amulets, and elixirs, Theo realized that none of these resources would offer assistance in the current situation. Theo had a sudden realization as he examined the pill. He noticed the craftsmanship of the River of Thirst and string craftsmanship, which he had overlooked before due to the former surrounding the latter. Intrigued by the unique properties of the string craftsmanship, he realized that by utilizing these properties, he could counteract the coldness associated with the pill effectively. Excited by the discovery, Theo found the solution to negate the chilling effects of the pill by harnessing the properties of the string craftsmanship. As Theo reflected on Jerry's words, he recalled Jerry's warning about the pill potentially leading to negative alchemy and craftsmanship. However, Jerry also emphasized that the pill was a priceless treasure that had the power to elevate one's alchemy and craftsmanship to new heights. Contemplating the dual nature of the pill, its potential for both positive and negative consequences, Theo grappled with the decision of whether to consume it. Theo made a decision to consume the frost pill, believing that by combining it with his string craftsmanship, he could harness its power to enhance more than just his spiritual abilities. As he consumed the pill, he realized that it was not yet complete, allowing him to experiment with his string craftsmanship to counteract its freezing effects. Despite the intense chill that enveloped his mouth, Theo focused on gathering his spiritual power and directing it towards his head. Slowly but steadily, he began to melt and absorb the cooling essence of the pill. Feeling the coolness permeate every part of his being, he embraced the transformative process, welcoming the unique sensations as the pill's power infused his body. Theo recognized that the process had only just commenced and that he needed to maintain his focus to prevent his body from freezing. Relying on his string craftsmanship for stability, he struggled to combat the onset of nausea and the overwhelming sensations brought on by the pill's effects. As he felt his endurance waning, Theo narrowly averted a potential crisis. Regaining his composure, he made the decision to reactivate his string craftsmanship. Understanding the task ahead, he steeled his resolve, preparing to awaken his Niden to absorb the remaining frost and complete the absorption process. Theo, reflecting on his experience, discovered that the chant of black ice had a positive impact on his string craftsmanship, aiding in boosting its effectiveness. Gradually, he felt the paralysis subsiding, although some remnants lingered. Understanding that the frost pill's design prevented rapid absorption, he realized the importance of a slow and steady approach to assimilate its power successfully. With patience and determination, Theo absorbed the entirety of the frost pill. Overwhelmed by the sensation coursing through him, he acknowledged the truth in Jerry's words. An immense surge of spirit power flooded his being, validating the pill's potency and transformative capabilities. Theo marveled at the newfound strength and energy that now filled his body. Theo realized that he now had the potential to surpass the barriers to the breath of the sun, viewing this breakthrough as distinct from his previous achievements. He recognized the opportunity to transcend his current limitations. Theo had finally achieved the 4-star breath of the sun, a significant milestone in his journey. With this newfound level of mastery, he gained the ability to create high-class talismans, produce high-grade elixirs, and wield the true Samadhi fire to purify the turbid ki within his body. Filled with a sense of accomplishment and newfound capabilities, Theo decided to visit the Mount White sect to check on their well-being. He hoped that the sect was managing the aftermath of the recent events effectively and looked forward to seeing how they were faring in the wake of the challenges they had faced. Theo was warmly greeted by the retainer, who expressed joy at seeing him after a year. Theo confirmed that he had been well during his absence. The retainer inquired about his whereabouts, mentioning that there were concerns that he had met with a grim fate. Theo explained that his absence was due to being occupied with various matters over the past year, indicating that rumors of his demise were unfounded. The retainer then revealed the distressing news that the former sect leader and elders had been recently killed. Theo expressed shock at the tragic turn of events that had transpired in his absence. Sensing the gravity of the situation, the retainer suggested that Theo should first visit the new sect leader to address the recent developments within the sect. Theo respectfully greeted Michael, the 39th sect head of Mount White, acknowledging the challenging circumstances the sect was currently facing. Michael mentioned that the sect was in disarray, teetering on the brink of collapse. Expressing his condolences, Theo offered his support, assuring Michael that he was willing to help in any way possible. Despite being an outsider disciple, Theo emphasized his deep gratitude towards the sect and his willingness to assist during their time of need. Michael informed Theo about the troubling situation the sect was facing due to the Iron Rock sect's actions, fueled by rumors spreading rapidly in the Yan'an region. He explained that their strained relations with the Yang provincial inspectors hindered their ability to seek assistance. Additionally, looming friendly alchemy matches against the Iron Rock sect added further pressure. Michael shared the distressing terms set by the Iron Rock sect for the upcoming matches. The loser would have to close their sect's doors for the next 1,000 years. Despite the unfair terms, Michael felt compelled to accept under duress, as the Iron Rock sect utilized the pretext of oversight by the provincial inspectors to exert pressure on Mount White sect. Theo expressed concern that Mount White sect would lack high-class alchemists to participate in the upcoming friendly match, highlighting his desire to fulfill his duties to his senior despite normally not being overly concerned about such matters. With a sense of responsibility, he proposed to Michael that he participate in the match on behalf of the sect. Michael, relieved by Theo's offer, felt a weight lifted off his shoulders and appreciated Theo's willingness to step in. Negotiating with the Iron Rock sect, they managed to reduce the penalty from 1,000 years to 500 years. Theo, however, still felt that 500 years was an excessive duration for the sect to face the consequences of losing the match. Michael acknowledged Theo's willingness to participate, mentioning that under normal circumstances, an outsider disciple like Theo wouldn't have been required to intervene. However, with 10 participants from each sect slated for the match, the lack of high-class alchemists in Mount White sect posed a significant challenge. Michael expressed concerns that if the Iron Rock sect faced difficulties during the match, Breath of the Sun alchemist Bongong might intervene. In contrast, Mount White sect's loss of high-class alchemists a year prior left them struggling to fill the required slots with alchemists of mid-class law of spirit energy or higher. Despite the obstacles, Theo reassured Michael that he would give his best effort. He also noticed the deserted surroundings and inquired about the absence of people. Michael revealed that many individuals were injured from sparring with the Iron Rock sect, explaining the somber atmosphere within the sect. Theo was concerned about the well-being of Molly, inquired about her condition. Michael confirmed that Senior Molly had sustained injuries during the last sparring session against the Iron Rock sect. Seeking further information, Theo approached the physician and inquired about Molly's condition. The physician revealed that Molly had suffered severe internal wounds. Theo reflected on Molly's situation, recognizing that she had likely exerted all her energy, pushing herself to the limit during the spar. Speculating that Molly had concealed the extent of her condition and bravely fought despite her injuries, Theo admired her resilience and dedication to the sect. Contemplating the significant number of wounded individuals within the sect, Theo realized the toll that the recent conflicts had taken on its members. The collective sacrifices and efforts made by everyone, including Molly, underscored the challenges they faced and the sacrifices that had been made in the ongoing struggle against the Iron Rock sect. Theo expressed concern about the situation, questioning whether the turmoil within the sect was solely caused by the actions of the Iron Rock sect. The physician, visibly upset, condemned the Iron Rock sect's behavior, describing their actions as wicked and deplorable. The physician highlighted the Iron Rock sect's tendency to demand unreasonable concessions and provoke conflicts, painting a grim picture of the sect's ruthless tactics and the havoc they wreaked upon Mount White sect and its members. At the boiling kitchen, Theo contemplated the secrecy of his recent achievement of reaching the Breath of the Sun level. Grateful that his newfound mastery had gone unnoticed so far, he hoped to maintain this discreetness, believing it would be advantageous. Understanding that only those who had attained the vitality of Yin and Yang level could potentially perceive his advancement, Theo felt reassured about keeping his progress hidden. Determined to utilize his enhanced abilities, Theo decided to produce the required items in bulk. With a sense of purpose, he planned to leverage the power of the true Samadhi fire in his alchemical endeavors. Theo reached out to Molly, who was slowly regaining consciousness. Expressing concern for her well-being, Theo inquired about how she was feeling after the recent ordeal. He acknowledged that Molly had been in a difficult situation while he was away on business. Handing her a 9-leaf healing elixir, a potent elixir crafted from 9 sacred herbs known for their healing properties, Theo explained its benefits for internal wounds. While not as potent as a rainbow pill, the elixir still possessed remarkable healing qualities. Theo mentioned that the others had also taken the elixir, emphasizing its importance for Molly's recovery. Grateful for Theo's care and gesture, Molly simply said, "Thank you." Theo was showing compassion and support, comforted Molly by recognizing her efforts and dedication. Tenderly caressing her head, Theo's gesture conveyed understanding and appreciation for Molly's hard work and resilience. Touched by Theo's words and kindness, Molly welled up with tears of gratitude. Molly is feeling guilty for not being fully recovered and believing she had held others back. She expressed gratitude for Theo's encouragement and the healing elixir, revealing that it had propelled her to the final stages of heavenly birth. Empowered by Theo's words and the elixir's effects, Molly found renewed motivation and determination. Theo brought up a concern to Molly, noting the recurring internal injuries she had been facing. He advised her to make use of healing elixirs whenever necessary to address these injuries and promote her recovery. Recognizing the pattern of internal injuries, Theo emphasized the importance of prioritizing self-care and utilizing the healing elixirs to maintain her well-being. Internally, Molly expressed her gratitude towards Theo for his ongoing care and support. She felt a sense of indebtedness towards him for his consistent concern and assistance, acknowledging his role in aiding her recovery and well-being. At the bustling Flying Peaks arena filled with spectators, Theo observed the tense atmosphere, noting that everyone seemed apprehensive about the ongoing events. Michael, acknowledging the gravity of the situation, expressed that the sect's future rested on the outcome of the match. He shared his concern that many believed Mount White sect faced slim chances of success, and the potential consequences weighed heavily on everyone's minds. Theo, recognizing the dire implications of losing the match, lamented the looming disaster that could befall the sect. Michael, visibly distressed, conveyed the emotional toll the situation had taken on him, expressing his heartache at the thought of the potential repercussions, particularly the impact on the sect's disciples. The elder expressed concern over the Iron Rock sect's delay, suspecting that they were intentionally prolonging their arrival. Theo acknowledged the elder's sentiment, adding that the absence of the provincial inspector alchemists indicated that they might be en route alongside the Iron Rock sect. Anticipating their imminent arrival, Theo speculated about the diverse range of alchemy techniques the Iron Rock sect possessed, piquing his curiosity about their strategies for the match. Theo's observation hinted at the strategic nature of the Iron Rock sect's tactics and their potential collaboration with the provincial inspector alchemists. Intrigued by the possibilities that the Iron Rock sect's alchemy prowess presented, Theo expressed genuine curiosity and eagerness to witness the unfolding of their alchemical skills during the match. Theo mentioned that the Iron Rock sect's admission and withdrawal system was known for its flexibility and openness. Michael agreed, explaining that official disciples of Mount White had to break their nadens to leave, highlighting the strictness of their departure process. In contrast, the Iron Rock sect attracted high-class alchemists due to their system that allowed individuals to benefit from their time there. Theo found the concept of a sect designed for individual benefits to be unique and intriguing. Michael elaborated that this approach had contributed to the Iron Rock sect's growth, as it attracted talented individuals seeking personal advancement. As the elder alerted everyone to the arrival of the provincial inspectors among the Iron Rock sect's alchemists, Michael expressed his dismay, realizing that the inspectors were collaborating with the Iron Rock sect against Mount White. Michael hurriedly excused himself, cautioning against any actions that the provincial inspectors could scrutinize in a negative light. Theo acknowledged Michael's instructions, understanding the delicate situation at hand. With a sense of awareness and adherence to Michael's advice, Theo prepared to navigate the tense atmosphere and the potential scrutiny from the colluding parties. Michael expressed gratitude to the inspector for overseeing the day's matches, trusting in their ability to ensure fairness during the competition. In response, the inspector reassured Michael, stating that there was no cause for concern regarding the fairness of the match. They asserted that provincial inspectors were known for their impartiality, emphasizing that they had always upheld fairness in their duties. The inspector reiterated the rules of the match, emphasizing that 10 alchemists from each side could participate simultaneously. Unlike taking turns, alchemists would remain on the field until they were defeated, allowing victorious alchemists to continue fighting consecutively. This rule added a strategic element as winning alchemists could maintain their position in subsequent battles. Upon understanding the rules, Michael expressed concern about the disadvantage Mount White sect faced. He realized that even if they managed to secure some victories, the presence of the Iron Rock sect's Breath of the Sun alchemist posed a formidable challenge. Michael foresaw the potential difficulty in overcoming the Iron Rock sect's skilled alchemists, particularly the powerful Breath of the Sun alchemist, which could tip the scales against Mount White sect in the long run. Molly expressed concern about Theo's decision to participate in the upcoming match, considering him an outsider disciple. She worried that the intense nature of the battle could lead to a violent and dangerous confrontation, ultimately resulting in Theo getting injured. Molly highlighted the heightened risk with the Iron Rock sect's Breath of the Sun alchemist also taking part in the match. Questioning Theo's motivations, Molly pondered what thoughts or considerations drove him to enter the fray despite the potential dangers and risks involved. As the match battle unfolded, Michael observed the Iron Rock sect's aggressive tactics, noting their ruthless approach to the competition. Another individual voiced concerns about the provincial inspector's apparent lack of intervention despite a violent attack taking place during the match. The individual criticized the inspectors for not taking action or issuing warnings in response to the aggression, especially considering their status as Breath of the Sun alchemists with the authority to halt the fight if necessary. Michael expressed concern about the unfolding events, noting the absence of the Iron Rock sect's formidable Breath of the Sun alchemist in the ongoing battles. With only 2 mid-class Law of Spirit Energy alchemists, besides himself, available to represent Mount White sect, Michael faced a difficult decision on how to approach the situation. He weighed the options of either not putting up a fight and losing powerlessly or engaging in a challenging battle despite the odds. Meanwhile, another disciple stepped forward, expressing their readiness to participate in the match. In a taunting manner, Ben from the Iron Rock sect boasted about the ease of the match, challenging the next opponent to step forward quickly. Kevin from Mount White sect bravely ascended the arena, introducing himself to his adversary. In response, Ben introduced himself as well, belittling the quality of alchemists in Mount White sect and emphasizing that their sect's hierarchy was solely based on skill rather than other factors. Ben warned Kevin that even if he managed to defeat him, a stronger opponent would follow, highlighting the Iron Rock sect's confidence in their abilities. He taunted Kevin, expressing his intention to not only defeat him but also take down Mount White sect's head, escalating the tension between the two sections. Ben's words aimed to intimidate and provoke Kevin, insinuating potential disgrace if Mount White sect were to suffer multiple defeats at the hands of their opponents. Kevin mentally resolved to give his all for the sect, aiming to create an opportunity for Theo to confront Ben with an advantage. As Kevin advanced with his spear, Ben disappeared, leaving Kevin momentarily puzzled by his opponent's sudden disappearance. Suddenly, Ben reappeared behind Kevin, launching a surprise attack and striking Kevin's back multiple times with precision and speed. In a moment of frustration and determination, Kevin shouted out, questioning why Ben wasn't engaging in the fight seriously. Ben provoked Kevin, challenging him to make him fight seriously if that was his desire. Kevin launched another attack, using his spear to create an energy barrier for defense. As Ben attacked the energy barrier, Kevin fought back vigorously, swinging his spear in retaliation. However, Ben once again disappeared, eluding Kevin's attempts to anticipate his movements. The swift and elusive nature of Ben's attacks left Kevin unable to read or predict his adversary's actions effectively. Ben's attack managed to breach Kevin's energy barrier. As Kevin stood up, bearing wounds all over his body, Ben expressed a seemingly mocking encouragement, urging Kevin to continue enduring the onslaught. Ben acknowledged Kevin's persistence as a representation of Mount White sect's unwavering determination in the face of adversity. Meanwhile, Theo observed the situation, recognizing the cruelty in Ben's actions as he displayed no intention of concluding the fight despite Kevin's evident condition. Theo lamented the lack of mercy in Ben's approach, noting that the Iron Rock sect seemed intent on crushing the spirits of Mount White sect's alchemists completely. As Kevin lost consciousness, the inspector declared Ben from the Iron Rock sect as the winner of the match. Despite the victory, the inspector criticized Ben for his disrespectful conduct towards his opponent. Warning Ben against repeating such behavior, the inspector cautioned that further disrespect could lead to his disqualification from future matches. In response, Ben nonchalantly accepted the criticism, acknowledging the situation with an indifferent attitude. Michael advised Theo to consider forfeiting the match if he felt unable to handle the challenge. Theo, acknowledging Michael's advice, expressed readiness to act accordingly. Stepping into the arena to face Ben, Theo encountered his adversary's taunts, questioning whether Theo was disheartened by the previous fight. Maintaining his composure, Theo clarified that he was undeterred and focused on strategizing how to defeat Ben. In response, Ben expressed his initial intent to swiftly defeat Theo and target the sect head, but now decided to prolong Theo's suffering as a form of retaliation. Theo challenged Ben to engage in the battle, showing no fear. Ben is mad by Theo's bravado, decided to employ his shadow clone art as a means to toy with Theo before inflicting a slow and painful defeat. However, as Ben attempted to strike Theo skillfully dodged each attack, evading Ben's blows effortlessly. Confusion clouded Ben's mind as he struggled to comprehend Theo's seemingly coincidental dodges. Despite Ben's relentless onslaught, Theo's agility and precision allowed him to evade every hit, frustrating Ben's attempts to land a blow. Ben, astonished by Theo's evasive skills, expressed disbelief at Theo's ability to dodge his attacks. Accusing Theo of using underhanded methods to evade his strikes, Ben found himself perplexed by Theo's elusive maneuvers. Unfazed by Ben's accusations, Theo calmly questioned if that was the extent of Ben's capabilities, provoking his opponent further. In a sudden and decisive move, Theo swiftly appeared behind Ben and delivered a powerful punch to his back, catching both Ben and onlookers by surprise. Michael was left in shock by Theo's swift and effective counterattack. The punch rendered Ben unconscious, concluding the intense battle with Theo emerging victorious in a dramatic fashion. Theo's victory was swift and decisive, but the aftermath revealed a shocking turn of events. After Ben conceded defeat, Theo unleashed a potent frost key upon his fallen opponent, causing Ben to cry out in agony. The inspector immediately called for the fight to end, demanding Theo cease his assault. The inspector's concerns stemmed from the unusual nature of Theo's attack. He questioned the potency of the frost key, wondering how a mid-class law of the spirit alchemist like Theo could inflict such severe damage upon an 8-stage alchemist like Ben. The inspector's astonishment was further amplified by the severity of Ben's injuries, stating that it would take decades for Ben to recover from the internal damage inflicted by Theo's frost key. The inspector declared Theo from Mount White Sect as the winner of the match. However, the inspector reprimanded Theo for his actions, cautioning him against going overboard in the future. Theo acknowledged the warning, understanding the consequences of repeating such actions and agreeing to adhere to the rules set forth by the inspector. Michael, impressed by Theo's exceptional skills, expressed admiration for his remarkable abilities. Despite hearing of Theo's prowess beforehand, Michael was still surprised by the extent of Theo's skill and talent displayed during the match. He voiced his appreciation for Theo's abilities, acknowledging his greatness in the face of adversity and challenging opponents. Molly expressed admiration for Theo, acknowledging his amazing skills and accomplishments. Reflecting on her own abilities, she expressed a desire to become stronger like Theo to be able to handle similar situations effectively. Molly wondered if her increased strength could have prevented Theo from facing the troubles he encountered during the match, highlighting her aspiration to win and avoid defeat. Driven by determination, Molly vowed to train harder and follow in Theo's footsteps, aiming to enhance her skills and capabilities to match his level of excellence. Despite her resolve to improve, Molly also cautioned Theo against pushing himself too hard, showing concern for his well-being and welfare. As the final showdown approached, Theo remarked that the only opponent left to face was the formidable breath of the Sun Alchemist from the Iron Rock sect. A man named Jacob from the Iron Rock sect stepped into the arena. Introducing himself as Jacob, he prepared to face Theo in the upcoming match. Theo, identifying himself as an outsider disciple of Mount White sect, extended a respectful gesture towards Jacob, expressing his desire to learn from their encounter during the fight. Jacob expressed surprise at being called to fight, mentioning that he had not intended to participate in the matches that day. Despite his initial reluctance, Jacob acknowledged the inevitable closure of Mount White sect's doors, implying that the outcome of the final battle would not alter that fact. In response, Theo reaffirmed his commitment to giving his best effort to prevent the closure of Mount White sect's doors, signaling his determination to defend his sect. Jacob was amused by Theo's determination, offered him a chance to join the Iron Rock sect, emphasizing the support and growth opportunities available for skilled alchemists within the sect. Despite Jacob's enticing proposal and assurance of good treatment, Theo politely declined, expressing his gratitude and loyalty to Mount White sect. Theo explained that winning the fight for Mount White sect would be his way of repaying the debt he owed to his sect, indicating that he would consider Jacob's offer after fulfilling his commitment. In response to Theo's decision, Jacob teased him about indirectly asking for a victory. Jacob asserted his own determination to maintain his reputation and record intact, refusing to accept a loss in the upcoming battle. In response to Jacob's teasing remarks, Theo clarified that his statement about repaying the debt to Mount White sect was not meant as a request for victory, but rather an expression of his determination and belief in his ability to win the fight. Theo emphasized that he saw a chance of emerging victorious in the upcoming battle, showcasing his confidence and readiness to face the challenge. Jacob, impressed by Theo's confidence and determination, acknowledged the young alchemist's self-assurance. However, Jacob vowed to swiftly dismantle Theo's confidence in the fight, showing his own resolve and competitive spirit. Theo reiterated his request for Jacob to teach him well during their battle. Jacob, observing Theo's use of the spiral bomb technique, initially underestimated its simplicity but recognized that it diverged from Theo's usual fighting style. Jacob speculated that Theo might be skilled in swordsmanship, questioning if he had concealed this ability in his pouch of abundance for this specific moment. In response, Theo confirmed that he had indeed kept his swordsmanship hidden for this critical juncture, intending to challenge Jacob with this surprise tactic. Surprised by Theo's revelation, Jacob acknowledged Theo's strategic approach and his intent to face him in combat using his concealed swordsmanship skills. Jacob warned Theo that he wouldn't show any leniency as a senior would, signaling his readiness to engage in a fierce and competitive battle. Theo formulated a strategic plan to refrain from attacking and focus on defending against Jacob's assaults. He reasoned that having already defeated 6 alchemists, engaging in a direct confrontation might lead observers to question his stage or level of skill. As Jacob wielded his weapon and struck at Theo, Theo skillfully dodged the incoming attacks, showcasing his agility and evasive abilities. Acknowledging Theo's swiftness in outspeeding Ben, Jacob warned Theo that the upcoming battle wouldn't be a simple feat. Jacob's observation indicated his recognition of Theo's prowess, but also hinted at the challenges and obstacles Theo would face in the face-off against a skilled opponent like Jacob. In a moment of determination, Theo unleashed his alchemic abilities, recognizing the necessity of using all his skills in the intense battle against Jacob. Jacob, amused by Theo's attempt to disorient him, chuckled at Theo's strategy. Theo then made a bold move, attempting to strike Jacob with 3 swords simultaneously, aiming to catch him off guard. Despite Jacob's initial confidence in defending against the attack with a barrier, he soon realized that Theo's swords were slowly penetrating the defensive shield. In the heat of the battle, Theo's skills landed a decisive blow on Jacob, causing him to feel the effects of the peculiar frost ki. Jacob, struggling against the chilling influence of the frost ki, realized the disadvantage it posed in the fight. Determined to turn the tide, Jacob resolved to unleash his full power in a single decisive move to counter Theo's unexpected tactics. However, Theo seized the opportunity as Jacob's spirit barrier faltered, presenting a chance to strike. Theo unleashed his touch of mist technique, enveloping Jacob in a mysterious fog. Confused and overwhelmed by the combination of fog and frost ki, Jacob found himself unable to control his spirit ki effectively. The confluence of the fog and frost ki disrupted Jacob's abilities, hindering his use of defensive measures like a spirit barrier or Dharma tool. Faced with the unforeseen challenge posed by Theo's tactics, Jacob grappled with the effects of the fog and frost ki, realizing the urgency of dispelling the fog to regain control. In a final twist of the battle, Jacob, underestimating Theo's fog technique, questioned whether such a tactic could ensure his defeat. Unfazed by Jacob's skepticism, Theo hinted at the inevitable outcome of the fight, implying that even if Jacob managed to dispel the fog, the battle had already concluded in Theo's favor. With 3 swords pointing at his neck, Jacob realized the dire situation he was in, acknowledging the impending defeat. As the tension reached its peak, the inspector declared Theo of Mount White sect as the victor of the intense battle between the Iron Rock sect and Mount White sect. Witnessing Theo's triumph, Michael and Molly were overcome with pride and emotion, their eyes filled with tears at the culmination of the challenging and thrilling confrontation. Iris, at the Exian sect, learned about Theo's victory in the battle between the Iron Rock sect and Mount White sect. Impressed by Theo's achievements and intrigued by his diverse experiences, Iris described him as an interesting and captivating individual. She marveled at how Theo seemed to be involved in various significant events, highlighting his dynamic and engaging presence in different situations. Considering the recent turn of events, Iris found the unfolding circumstances intriguing and exciting. She expressed her intention to pay Theo a visit soon, eager to offer him a deal that she believed would be irresistible.